Welcome to VMblog's coverage of KubeCon Europe 2026, taking place in Amsterdam. And today I have the pleasure of having Dilpreet Bindra, who is the Senior Director of Engineering, VCF Division at Broadcom. Welcome.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. So maybe you can start by kind of telling us a little bit about Broadcom's role within the open source community and what you guys are doing to help shape the future of cloud native infrastructure.
That's a great question. Broadcom overall and VMware, to be more specific, has been a significant player in CNCF, the CNCF community, amongst other open source communities as well. And our role in the CNCF community has been to develop the open source frameworks that are required to both run and manage Kubernetes and the associated tools with it. So we made significant contributions to the cluster API, which is really, really important for all the operations that you do on a cluster. We've made also very critical contributions to etcd, which is the heart of a Kubernetes cluster, where all the data associated with the Kubernetes cluster resides. And then we've also made and contributed, Harbor to the community as a OCI registry that is available for anybody to use in the open source community. So with some of these contributions, I mean, there's many, many others. We've played a significant role in developing both Kubernetes, but also being a part of companies that have made, not only made contribution, but have reaped the benefits of those contributions over time.
Yeah, and we're talking about KubeCon coming up, so kind of a big topic here. I know Broadcom is a top contributor and maintainer in the CNCF, and you're currently working to bring Valero over to that CNCF Sandbox. What does that transition represent, both for the project and for the broader commitment to upstream stewardship?
So we've worked on Valero for a number of years. And again, it's critical to when we talk about the various things that we worked on, they're beneficial to our Kubernetes distro as well as other Kubernetes distros, because it drives enterprise readiness for that Kubernetes distro and for applications that run on those Kubernetes distros into the market. And so Valero is critical for that, for continuity of your application, because it allows you to do backup and restore of both your application, but also the cluster. And so that's critical for anybody that's running a business critical production application on top of Kubernetes. And so we developed that inside of VMware. And, at this stage, we were like, hey, it's about time that we brought it into the open source community and got better governance, and open governance around the Valero, as well as the contributions from others that we've been getting since the beginning, but now making it more direct inside of CNCF. And so that's what we're working on with the CNCF maintainers. And so, we're in the early stages. We're hoping that goes through pretty quickly.
Now, kind of speaking at a high level, what challenge are you working to solve for the Kubernetes community? Particularly as enterprises are scaling cloud native environments.
Yeah, so like when we think about enterprises running in Kubernetes in their environments, we're thinking about running not just one cluster, but many, 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 many clusters. And the key value we're trying to bring is in being able to do so with simplified operations. And so when it comes to making sure that we support, inside of inside of CAPI, the ability to do chained upgrades or upgrading from one, version to another version that has many versions removed, is one of those critical capabilities. And so like we are looking at all the set of things that are required to be able to manage Kubernetes at scale, really. And so that's been our focal point. Again, with our support cycle, and the difference between our support timeframe and the Kubernetes community timeframe, making sure that our customers get both the best of both experiences and have the tool set required to be able to actually deal with the extended timeframe that we give them for support.
Now, bringing that down to the day to day, I'm curious, what's the latest with VMware vSphere Kubernetes Service, and what operational pain points are platform teams facing today that you're trying to address?
Yeah, one of the first, guiding principles of our Kubernetes is really to be a service, kind of the ilk of cloud native vendors that exist. And so what we want to make sure is that you get a Kubernetes when you require it. You can have many of these running. You don't necessarily have to have a lot of divvying of that Kubernetes across different users. And so we really want to get to the mode of Kubernetes being cattle and not pets. And so that's been our driving motivation, right? And so one of the things that we've been working on is how do we get the lifecycle of Kubernetes to be much faster? And so that's been a core innovation that we can provide because of the VM foundations that we have underneath Kubernetes. The other thing is, like, as we look forward in our Kubernetes distro, is how do we make sure that we have the best ecosystem available so that customers can take advantage of all the third-party capabilities that are out there that they may prefer over the built-in capabilities that we have. And so, with the latest 3.6 release of VKS, we've opened it up so that customers can bring their own RHEL operating system if they choose to. They can also bring their own CNI, either their Isovalent CNI or their Tigera CNI if they would like, to be able to actually extend our VKS value prop with their CNI of choice.
Now, at KubeCon Europe, the exhibition halls can be overwhelming for a lot of people, with all these vendors that are all trying to solve similar problems. What genuinely differentiates your approach?
I think that when we look at our overall VKS capability, our approach is that, again, like I said, that it's meant to be a service that delivers that the APIs necessary to be able to instantiate Kubernetes for every user in a self-service mechanism, but also doing so by separating the infrastructure management and the application management. And that's one of the core principles at VMware, right? Is the infrastructure management should be able to continue managing the underlying infrastructure, doing host maintenance, doing network maintenance and such, while not disturbing the application up above and the application owner up above. And the application owner can actually do their job without having to then contact the infrastructure owner. And that's one of the key value that we bring from an operational standpoint. And that also goes into all of the tools that we build. And that's why, building on top of virtualization is so much, fundamentally easier because it has a clear separation between the two.
Now, we're seeing massive shifts in the cloud native landscape, from AI workloads, platform engineering, FinOps pressures. How is Broadcom and VMware positioned for these trends, and what's on your roadmap that addresses where the industry is headed?
So let me talk about a little bit of what we've done so far, and then I can talk about roadmap. Is like, we have worked with NVIDIA to build in the vGPU capability foundation fundamentally into, vSphere, such that you can not only have the vGPUs, but you can actually do vGPU-based reservations, so that you can have reservations for varying types of workloads that can then be, delivered through a self-service interface And so if a user wanted a workload of a particular GPU size, they could actually slot into the appropriate slot that you've reserved for them. Now, so like those things we have done, we've put in all the operational tooling in terms of being able to give all the metrics from the underlying physical GPU, as well as the virtual GPU, up to the user, right? And so, like, as in terms of the GPU and the GPU capability, we're exposing all the value there. Also, we've enabled all the pass-through capability if a customer wants to use pass-through. As part of the VKS offering, we've done all the AI conformance that Kubernetes has laid out, CNCF has laid out, and so we're a AI conformant Kubernetes distro that delivers the runtime required for driving all your AI workloads as well. And then inside of VCF broadly, we've also added, a bunch of core services that are required if you're going to be building out a lot of value using, our built-in model, repo, a model store, our built-in model runtime, our agent builder technology. So we've rounded out the overall runtime story with a set of core services that deliver value in building out your overall AI solution. Right. And as we look forward, we're looking at our core strengths. Again, resource management is our core strength. And how do we actually deliver further enhancements to our resource management story for GPUs as we move along? Right. As we look at customers and the customer's journey, we've seen customers initially start with bare metal, like put it under your desk type solutions. And we're starting to see customers already transitioning and maturing from that to understanding that GPUs are a very expensive resource. They need some appropriate tooling and such to be able to deliver to their users, and they love the value that VCF has brought in this space and will bring moving forward. And so they're starting to mature in their thought process and look at us moving forward as well.
Great. Before we wrap up, what's one takeaway that you want KubeCon Europe attendees to remember about your company's vision and value?
I think if you have VCF in your environment, which a lot of users do, you should just first know that there's VKS available in every VCF deployment, and you can go and ask your VI admin to make it available to you. So you could have a Kubernetes cluster available whenever you need it and be able to start developing your applications against it. And all of the other value comes along with that. But if you have VCF, which a lot of the companies do, go and utilize the VKS capability is what I would want them to leave this conversation with. Because frankly, I think they would be happily surprised given their experience with other distros.
That's great. Well, Dilpreet, Brian and I both want to thank you for joining us today on VMblog to discuss Broadcom, VMware, and your plans for the upcoming KubeCon CloudNativeCon EU event. Before we let you go, though, obviously, anyone who's watching this, we highly recommend you swing by the Broadcom booth and get a firsthand experience at their booth. But for the folks who maybe can't attend the upcoming show, where can folks go if they want to learn more about some of the things that you're talking about here and showcasing at the event?
Yeah, the best place to go is VMware.com and to go through our vSphere Kubernetes Service page there.
Great. Well, thanks again for joining us, and we wish you and the team a very successful event ahead.
Thank you. Thank you, David. Thanks.
All right.